Hello everyone, my name is Leo with Super Tech. So today we're going to be working on an Xbox One X console that I have no clue exactly why a customer would send me something like this. So let me go ahead and open up the ticket here real quick. So the ticket that the customer sent, and I've got the screen like this because I don't want to show the customer's information, or I'm going to blur it out either way. So basically the customer's information says broken Xbox console, not sure what's wrong with it. It's got the serial number that he put on there, broken Xbox console. And if we get back to the screen here, basically it's just a bunch of broken parts that were actually sent out. So the case, it's literally broken. Screws out. Look at this, look at the top case. This piece of the top case is broken off, and it's really dirty. So I don't know if it's a miracle that they're asking me to perform here, because there's no description to what exactly this issue is. And on top of that, and I don't know if I put this as options, but I did put in my ticket a column here, which I guess I did not. I haven't done that to my website yet. But I think what I'm gonna do to my website, I'm gonna put a list of issues that they can select from to let me know what's going on with their console whenever they're being sent in to me, because it takes me a whole lot longer to try to diagnose and try to find out what's going on versus getting a brief description on what it is that needs to be done to the console. For example, it doesn't power on, no display, overheating, you know, something that you would normally encounter whenever you're attempting to, you know, attempting to turn on a console. I need to know what's wrong with it. What exactly are you sending your console in for? Not necessarily something like this to where there's no description. It's saying that it's a broken console, but I personally have no clue, and I finished breaking this. That's fine. It's gonna have to be replaced anyways, because I can't send a console back, and I'm gonna have to charge the customer for it. Yeah, so let's get to the nitty-gritty. Let's find out first what's going on with this console, because I have no clue, honestly. Top case came in like this. Screws, it was all in the box like that. Screws are loose, so let's go ahead and get these screws out of here. And I don't know what happened to this case. I don't know if it broke during shipping. I should have showed you the box, but the box is somewhere back there. It's like a Home Depot box back there. Broken here as well. I don't know, but the screws were off, so I doubt that it broke during shipping because the screws were out. This piece here goes, of course, on that front plate, and you can tell that where the screws normally go, it's broken as well. And yeah, let's see, what else can we find the issue could be for this. It's really dirty. I just noticed here as well the power button, which the power button eject button, I believe. Yeah, power button eject button. It's missing here, the button. And isn't there? I have one over here. Hold on, let me grab it. I bought this just recently. This is what it's supposed to look like. It's got a button right there. And in this case, it does not have a power button right there. So even if we try to turn it on, we probably won't be able to. I'm going to use my tweezers, hit on it, and see if we can turn it on. So let's see what's wrong with this console. HDMI port, they look good. Besides it being dirty, they look good. Let's try to turn it on and see if it even turns on at all. trying with my hand, but nothing. Nothing. Alrighty. So let's unplug this again. Remove the HDMI. Let's remove this and put in the one I have and see if it'll attempt to turn on. All right, we're removing this board off of here. We're gonna put one of my boards. I actually bought this for myself for testing purposes whenever I need to test. I need to buy another one if I'm gonna have to replace this one. There we go. Let's plug this in again. HDMI, power cable, and let's try to turn it on. Let's see what it does. Okay, I heard a beep, but it did not turn on. Hey, it is on. The light's just not on, but it is on. Let's go to the test bench. So I did hear a beep. Is there anything? It looks like I just turned it off. Or sounds like I just turned it off. The light's not turning on this board. That's not good. There's no display at all. So I think the retimer chip is probably going to be dead. Or the hard drive is bad. We're going to test the hard drive first before anything. Now we're going to test the hard drive first. All right, let's just take this thing apart because I don't know what all is going on with it, honestly. I do hear that it sounds like it turned on. I hear movement here. The light though on this board, it's not lighting up at all. I don't know if it's the board itself or it's something internally with the console. I have not used this board yet to test with on any other console. So I don't know if it's this light is burnt out. Maybe I need to desolder the light off of that other one, put it on here. I don't know. We're gonna put this board to the side though. And let's go ahead and just take this console apart. Now, one of the things y'all know about me is I like working in a clean environment. Seeing a console like this, honestly, I don't like that. So we are going to clean this as we go as well. Before we fully... So we're gonna take this we're gonna clean this console as well before we fully take it, as we're taking it apart. I don't like working in conditions where consoles like this. So let me just go ahead and clean this up real quick. All right, so internally it does not look that bad. We do have a working power supply. We know that because I heard it beep. So the power supply itself is actually working. That's good. So the first things first, we got to check is the hard drive. So let's go ahead and start taking this apart completely. I'm seeing broken pieces coming out of this from the case. We will need to clean this fan. We'll do that before we put it back on. Broken pieces are coming out from the case. Let's remove the optical drive, which we'll also have to clean internally to make sure that it's good. I do see there's a lot of dust and crust there. And this is what I need to get real quick. But let me grab my brush and clean it out. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is actually take the hard drive out of here. We're gonna put it in our caddy and we're gonna use our software to test this to see if this hard drive is good, because sometimes it won't show a display if the hard drive is bad. So that's what we're gonna test for right now to see if the hard drive is good. Got a message on my offer up. So I believe this is funny. So I've got a PlayStation 4 Pro currently for sale on my offer up page. So this guy had the nerve to say, with no games, he said $300 for a game system with no games. Really? Laughing out loud with a laughing face. So I'm replying with, if you're not interested, bud, keep scrolling, thanks. Right now these consoles are selling like hotcakes, honestly, pretty fast at $350. I'm only asking $300 for the PlayStation 4 that I'm selling online. It's actually in great shape. Nothing wrong with the console itself. It works perfectly. I did have to replace the HDMI port, and that's all that was done to that console. But I am selling it for $300 because they're sale right now for between $400 to $350. I just put $300 because I wanted it to sell quickly. It is of course, PlayStation 4 Pro, which is 4K It's its 4K capability, and the processor is faster than a regular PS4 Slim or original PS4. So I'm selling it for $300. If someone decides they want to buy the console, they're more than welcome to message me. If they're not interested because I'm not including any games and they don't like the price, then they can move on. All right, let's get back to the repair. That's enough of my rant. So we're gonna check the hard drive, which is right over here. We're gonna put this into my caddy. And let me go ahead and open up the software and get to that page where the software will show. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and turn the caddy on. I normally don't turn it on until I have everything set up. And let's see if the hard drive appears here. Hard drive is not appearing. I see the file starting to come up. It's a bad hard drive. Now let me go ahead and switch screens real quick. That way you guys can actually see this. See here where it says 4%? That's actually the health of this hard drive. So unfortunately, that is actually going to be the issue or the problem with this console. It is because the hard drive is bad. So, before I even continue, let me go ahead and format a hard drive, 500 gig. I think it's a 500 gig. I'm gonna validate that right now. If not, we'll grab a terabyte, a 1 terabyte, and we'll put this together and we'll charge the customer for a 1 terabyte. Let me go ahead and grab a hard drive real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back. So this hard drive, it is a 1 terabyte Seagate. That's bad, 4% on it. So this hard drive is bad. We've got a brand new hard drive here. We're gonna go ahead and format this hard drive, put it onto this console, and we'll test again to see if we can get it to boot. So let's go ahead and get this hard drive opened. And let me go ahead and get this formatted, and I'll be back once I have it formatted. All right, so my apologies. I was literally talking to the microphone. I completely forgot that I had stopped recording. So the entire time I did quite a bit. I'm not even sure exactly where I stopped, but I believe that where I stopped was I was formatting the actual hard drive, which I did format it. I connected it to the actual, or I plugged it in, not connected it, but installed it to the board, put the board, the console together just enough to test. Fortunately, while doing so, when plugging in the HDMI cable to the HDMI port, we're having issues basically with the 5-volt pin. For some reason, it's not giving it 5 volts, or the 5-volt, it's giving a problem. So, and there's no display at all either. That being said, there's 2 possibilities of what the issue could be. Oh, actually 3. Either the HDMI port, the pin may have gotten loose from the pad or something, which I did already validate the actual pins from the HDMI port. They are all solid. Also looked on the inside of the actual port, and the port looks good as well. Second possibility is the TDP-158, which is the retimer chip or video encoder chip, whatever you want to call it. And then lastly, it could possibly be this ST chip right here, which this ST chip unfortunately cannot be purchased. Only way you can actually get this chip is if you harvest it from another device, which I'm hoping it's not that, because I do not have any of these at all. And I don't have any donor boards to extract this chip from, this one here. So I did check the surrounding capacitors. They seem to be fine. So I'm hoping that it's not this chip. So what we're going to do right now is actually extract this TDP-158 chip off of this board, put in a brand new chip to it, and we're going to see if that resolves our issue. So I've already gotten this board positioned with how I'm going to be able to extract this chip from here. And I'm going to add some flux surrounding the surrounding chip. And now we're just going to heat it up and remove this chip off of here. I do have my heat set to 170 with airflow at 120. And that's 107 at 700, not 170, 770 Fahrenheit with 120 airflow. Now do it that way because I want to extract this chip pretty quick. I don't want it to take too long. So this is a pretty thick board, so it takes quite a bit to actually heat up. Alright, how I know that I was ready to pull this chip is the solder basically gets, you can see that it gets very glossy, and that's how I know that it's ready. Now the solder that's in there, it is leaded-free solder. So I'm gonna go ahead and fuse my regular leaded solder with what it's in there, and then clean it up so that when I put the chip back on, we want to make sure that it's easier to remove in the future versus this, and takes less heat. All right, let's remove the solder completely from there now as well. So we're gonna add more flux. Let's grab our wick and let's start removing this solder that's on here. All right, so we've got the solder completely removed off of the pads. We're gonna go ahead and add only leaded solder to this. That way it's easier, less heat. Let's add some flux. And now let's go ahead and add our leaded solder. Get this pad prepped. All right, the pad is prepped now. Pin number 1, it's right here where the white dot is at. Pin number 1 is right there, so we gotta flip this around. There we go. So what we're gonna do is actually heat this up a little bit before we actually put the pads on there. Not the pads, the chip. We're gonna heat this board up a little bit, and then we'll sit it down. There we go. Let's go ahead and add some flux to this. So that the chip actually on its own basically gets placed in there. It'll settle on its own here in a little bit. There we go. I just saw it moved. We're going to let it settle for a bit, and then we're going to push it down to squeeze out any solder at the bottom. There we go. And now we need to clean out any excess solder around the chip. To do that, we need to put a little bit more flux to this. And we're going to start with this ball that's right there. And of course we don't want any bridges, so we need to clean that up. And now we need to make sure that every single pin is actually touching, which in this case it is. Let's go ahead and try this other one now. Looks like it needs a little bit more solder and or flux. Okay, let me flip the board around. All right, so the glare is kind of, it's making it a little bit difficult to actually see. It's okay though. Let me add a tad bit more flux to this. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get this cleaned up, and we're gonna test. Alrighty, we got this cleaned up properly. What you see on there, the residue is just the isopropyl alcohol. Let's go ahead and put this board together just enough to test, and then we'll see if in fact there was the retimer chip. Now it could be that it may not be the retimer chip. Everything else was testing good except for the 5 volts. So I think the 5 volt rail, something's wrong with it, which I would have to test as well afterwards, of course. But right now, what we want to do is actually see if by any chance the issue maybe was the retimer chip, because it's a possibility that it was. Let me plug it in right now just to see. All right, so everything's basically together that would need to be on this board in order for us to be able to test. So I'm gonna go ahead, plug in the power cord, actually the HDMI cable first. I'm gonna see if it gives me the same message it gave us earlier. Not message, but alert. How do I put this? It's not necessarily like a scripted message. I've got a tool here that basically a HDMI tester tells me if we're getting all the volts, all the required volts to it. So as soon as I turn this on, I'll be able to tell if in fact it fixed the problem. HDMI's not giving me any lights at all, the tester. I do see the fan spinning. Oh, there we go. 5 volts still red. But we got CEC though. It's CEC shows to be good. I don't know. Have anything on the screen? Nothing at all. Alrighty, I'm back. We've got image to the console, believe it or not. Alright, so I went back to look at my work I did on the retimer chip. Turns out that I actually had bridged 2 pins together that actually both of those pins go straight to the CPU, to the APU. Woo! I'm glad I didn't burn the APU, honestly. So it is bugging me that this light over here is not turning on, but nevertheless, we've got the console going. So now what we're gonna do, I've got the OSU1 filed into the USB thumb drive over here. Got the console ready to complete the installation, the update. Let's see if it'll actually complete it. It should. I'm gonna leave it running and we'll see where it goes from there. I'm gonna go ahead and just speed through this for you guys. For me, of course, it's gonna take however long it takes. For you guys, it should just be a few, maybe a minute, maybe less, a few seconds. Alrighty. Alrighty, so this is actually an update to this Xbox One X console that the customer brought and basically sent it to us, with us performing basically a miracle to get this console repaired for them. We did end up buying, and of course this is after messaging back and forth with the customer, letting them know, hey look, the case you sent was fully broken. We ended up buying one, finally came in the mail, and we're replacing it. It has a few dings here and there. That's not a ding actually, it's that's just a speck, something white that's stuck on there. Only major thing I saw was this minor scratch that's right there, which could possibly be buffed out, but I'm not going to be concerned because this case is, compared to what we received when we received it, it's a complete upgrade. So we fixed this console. Basically, we replaced the hard drive off of this console because the hard drive was bad. The retimer chip, I don't know if you saw in the last video, after replacing the ESDIC chip, we did get image, but then the image itself was completely green. Like everything was just green tinted, bright green or just plain green. And in my mind, I kept thinking, what would cause that? The only other thing I could think of was a retimer chip. So I had already replaced the retimer chip multiple times, and you guys actually got to see me replacing the retimer chip. Didn't want to have to record it again, replacing the retimer chip. So off camera, went ahead and replaced the retimer chip off of this console once again. And now we have an actual image. Let me go ahead and just show you real quick. We're gonna go ahead and turn this console on, and you guys will actually see that this console boots up. Now, the only thing that's wrong with this console right now is actually the power board that's in here. The light does not turn on. I've already ordered one. It should be getting here today. I asked the customer if they want to also replace that as well. They said yes. I told them that it worked without it. They just won't know if it's on or off because the light doesn't turn on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on right now. You'll see. It beeps. It's turning on. And we'll get to the screen where it'll show that. But it does not, there's no light, just, alerting that it's on. But as you can see, we do have an image. Console is turning on. We are going to do a full test off camera, from making sure that the sync button works, that CD drive works, that everything functions. But what this console, actually, you know what? I might as well go ahead and test that now. Let me grab a game real quick. We've got a game here. I want to see if the CD drive, optical drive, is actually going to accept the game. We'll insert that in there. And we've got a control here. I'm gonna take this off, which is normally what I would use to connect to the console if I didn't have a sync button. There is a sync button now. Now I'm not gonna be able to see the light blinking though. That's the problem. So I'm just gonna press it in hopes that it's actually going, blinking constantly to be able to sync this console in here. I did put my account in this console because of course we replaced the hard drive, so there was nothing in there at all. So I did put my account. So the control right now is on, solid on. We're gonna go ahead and see if this sync button works. It's blinking. Let's see if it'll sync with the console. Oh, it's synced with the console. Yep. I'm gonna use my account real quick just to see if this game will, if this optical drive will actually see this game and read this game. Game went in there smoothly. Now let's see if it'll pop up on the screen. It should. We're about to find out though. There it is. It read the game, and let's see if it'll start installing it as well. Come on. I want to see if it'll even start the installation process. I want to see that 0% go to 0.1, 0.2 and see if it'll start installing the game. There it is. It's reading the disk, 12 kilobytes. Wow, that's really slow. There we go. So yeah, it's installing the game as well. So it reads the game, it's installing the game. Everything's functional on this console. It is a 500 gig though. That's one of the only problems. I could put a 1 terabyte, but customer did not want to pay for the 1 terabyte hard drive, so we went ahead and went with a 500 gig. We'll show you right now that it is a 500 gig. Right there, 364, that's what the available space is. Of course, it only has 307 gigabytes free. And yeah, that's basically it to this console. This console is fully repaired. We did perform a miracle for this customer's console, honestly, with the condition that was brought in. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get this console fully repaired, but we did end up getting it repaired for the customer. So now they have a fully functional console. We'll go ahead and print out the label and ship it out to them. Other than that, for those of you that have stayed in tune and actually watched this video, I know this video is probably going to be somewhat long. I'll try to shorten it as much as I can. If you stayed in tune and watched this video this far, thank you very much. Do me a favor, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. That way you get, well, actually you won't get notified if you just hit the subscribe button, but you can hit the bell button that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified every single time I actually upload a video. Hopefully you do get notified, because I have heard from other YouTubers, or I say heard because I've seen their videos, to where apparently some of the notifications actually do not go out. But let's hope that with my channel being so small, hopefully people do get notified. And that is it. We did perform a miracle on this console for this customer. Do me a favor, go ahead and if you want to support the channel, I did put links in the description below with the tools that I use here in my workshop. And if any of you for any reason are interested in any of the tools, just go ahead and follow the link in the description below. It is to an affiliated Amazon link. It does help me a little bit. It doesn't help out a lot. But it does, send something my way that will, help with the channel still being up and me uploading content for you. If you guys actually have any questions, you have any, criticism, constructive criticism of any sort, go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. I do, right now, especially with me being a small channel, go through every single comment that's actually posted. I do reply to every single comment as well. And yeah, on my last video with the Gears of War, I did find a game. And I did say that I was going to send it to someone. No one's actually asked for this game, the NBA or NBA 2K21, which is a 21 basketball game. I don't play sports games at all. I do like, like Call of Duty, those type of games, Fortnite a little bit. Definitely waiting on the Halo Infinity game to come out. Those are the type of games I actually play, so I don't play any of the sports games. So if any of you guys are actually interested in that game, which I believe I have it here. Yep, it's right there. NBA 2K21 right there. Let me know. First person that actually says, hey, can you send it to me, along with whatever address, or actually put on there, send it to me. I'll reply to them with my email so that they can send me their address, and that person, I'll go ahead and, I'll even pay for the ship, and I'll send them this game, NBA 2K21. And of course, that person I send it to also has to be a subscriber as well. So that'll be like the first giveaway I do. But I did mention also on my last video, I am going to be doing a giveaway as well as soon as I reach 1,500 subscribers. For those of you that are actually interested in possibly learning how to do this, one of the tools you will need is an actual power supply, which there's various reasons why you would want a power supply. Let's say for an example, the power supply on this console wasn't working, and if I don't have, let's say for an example, a spare power supply, you may want to somehow input some voltage into that console to see if in fact it's the power supply that's bad, or try to, let's say for example, it's 12 volts or 19 volts you're trying to, that the power supply actually takes in. You will use the power supply to be able to test to see if it's the power supply or not, or if you just want to check for shortages and whatnot as well, definitely you can use the power supply for that. So there's various reasons, and you can actually do research yourself with how you would actually use a power supply for. I do have the power supply back there in the box. I've already shown it once already on my previous video. There isn't necessarily an entry of any way, because anyone within 1,500 subscribers, any one person that actually subscribes to my channel, as soon as I see that we reach 1,500 subscribers, even if it's a tad bit more, I'm gonna do a poll, and I'm gonna do a video on that as well, and I'm gonna do it online to where it's going to automatically select one person from my subscribers. I'll reach out to that person, I'll send them a message, and a direct message through YouTube, and if they don't respond, then we do another poll again until I get someone that actually responds, so then they can send me their address, and then I ship the power supply over to them. Alrighty, other than that, thank you very much once again. Don't forget to do everything I said to do. Thank you guys and gals. I'll be seeing you on my next video. Peace.